All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our December 8th council meeting. Merry Christmas to everybody. If I think, hope y'all, we've had the last month, we've had fantastic events going on downtown with the Nutcracker Gala, which was unbelievable. The lighting of the tree was unbelievable. Christmas parade was fantastic. Everything, if you're not in the holiday spirit by now, something's wrong. It has been a fantastic month in Mebane. Uh, I want to call the meeting to order, and I would like to ask, an honor to ask Pastor Troy Blaylock, Church of the Vine. Good evening, sir.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. Father, we thank you for life. We thank you for breath. We thank you for your rich kindness towards us. And Father, I just ask now, as you command us in your word, to pray for kings and for leaders and for all those who are in high places. And so, Father, I pray for the mayor. I pray for the city council. I pray for our leadership here in Mebane. Father, that you would give them wisdom, that you would give them discernment as they lead us and as they make decisions. And Father, as a resident of Mebane myself, I'm immensely grateful for the leaders that you've given us. And so, Father, we lift up a prayer of thanksgiving to you on this cold December night. And Father, we just ask for your rich kindness and grace towards us. And we pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Of course, that's a good point. If you don't like the snow, at least we got some. Before I go any further, I want to introduce one of our county commissioners. I always love to have them come to our meeting. Kelly Allen, stand up and get the applause. Glad to have you, Kelly. And of course, Tom Boney's here. Glad to have you, Tom. Somewhat county commissioner. We have the approval of the minutes from November 3rd, regular meeting.
Move we approve minutes.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Now we have the report and acceptance of the election results. Ms. Shaw.
The results of the municipal election held on November 4th, 2025, as certified by the Alamance County Board of Elections, shows that for office of City Council, Montrina Hadley received 930 votes, Tim Bradley 754 votes, Jonathan White 697 votes, Blair Helms 201 votes, Rick Thomas 162 votes, and write-ins 46 votes. The results of the municipal election held on November 4th, 2025, as certified by the Orange County Board of Elections, shows that for the office of City Council, Montrina received 184 votes, Tim Bradley 127 votes, Jonathan White 122 votes, Blair Helms 40 votes, Rick Thomas 39 votes, and write-ins 2 votes. Therefore, pursuant to such tabulation, it has been determined that Montrina Hadley, having received 1,114 total votes from both counties, Tim Bradley having received 881 total votes from both counties, and Jonathan White having received 819 total votes from both counties, have been duly elected members of the City Council of the City of Mebane pursuant to law for a term of 4 years. At this time, I'd invite each elected official and any family members that would like to participate to the podium to take their oaths.
Got it. Before we start, I want to introduce the fantastic Judge Larry Brown. I will say, here comes the judge, but we're going to start off with Tim Bradley and then Jonathan White and together and Montrina. So everybody step down.
Take a vote to accept those results.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it written down to do that. Thank you. Thank you. I need a vote on this council to accept the results.
So move.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now the fun.
Clear the bench.
Tim and John. Any family members, friends, anybody like to come up? I state your name.
I, Jonathan White,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support and maintain the
Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not consistent therewith,
not consistent,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as City of Mebane council member.
that I will,
Help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'd like to introduce Judge Brown to come up to do my training. Hey, Stephanie, you caught that, didn't you?
And if you would, left hand on the Bible, raise your right. I state your name,
I, Montrina,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support
that I will support
and maintain
and maintain
the
the
Constitution
Constitution
and laws of the United States, Constitution,
and the Constitution
laws of North Carolina,
and laws of North,
not inconsistent with,
not inconsistent,
that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
duties of my office
the duties of my office
as City of Mebane
as City of Mebane
council member.
council member.
This is my favorite part. So help me God.
So help me God.
Amen. Yeah, not me.
I'm Brenda Buchanan. I'm here to make a presentation. Public servant who deserved it. As I said, this is a well-deserved award. Her husband submit an application for an award. Sure, certainly I would do that. And he started to work. He was, Judge Brown, why are you over there? He asked for letters of recommendation and he asked for articles and other materials. Got all the documents together. I compiled them, made the application on behalf of my friend. Lo and behold, I submitted it and Trina. Watch her face, because this is a complete surprise to her. She knew nothing about this. Mike and I have been communicating by text.
And phone calls and stealing phone numbers. I
Yes.
think I got contact Mary Kay.
Yeah, I just
Yes, and
texted
Kelly.
him 2 minutes ago.
What's the other woman called?
I'll tell you, it's the other woman called. So watch her face as I read this award to her. State of North Carolina. Josh Stein, Governor. Reposing special confidence in the integrity, learning, and zeal of Montrina W. Hadley. I do by the present confer the Order of the Longleaf Pine. With the rank of Ambassador Extraordinary, privileged to enjoy fully all rights granted to members of this exalted order, among which is the special privilege to propose the following North Carolina toast in select company anywhere in the world. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. Here's to the down home, the old North State. Josh Stein, Governor.
Snuggle up. Like we know each other. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Fabulous.
Just a minute. Mayor, can they say something?
Yes.
Just quickly.
I'd like to quickly say that we're on the Piedmont Tribe Council of Government, and the three of us are kind of the three musketeers. In fact, I threatened to separate us a couple of times. But we always sit together and talk, and Montrina and Mary Kay.
And I just want to say I'm one of the three musketeers, Mary Kay, Mayor of Greensboro. And I feel like I know your husband now. I was texting him. We had closed session and I just raced you. Oh, sorry, I did not race you. I just came from Greensboro. And Montrina Kelly and I, she was saying, you know, we kind of sit together in a little corner. And most everyone's been quiet during all of these meetings. And something would come up and nobody would give a motion or something. So we just started and like one of us will motion, the other one will second. We'll just get on with business. And that's the way Montrina works. So I know it's worked for us, and she, Kelly, and I have become friends. So you are so deserving of this.
You are.
Well deserved. How many years of service?
30.
Going on 30, and now we're working on another 4 years here on city council. So well deserved. I'm so proud of you. As the highest vote getter ever in the city of Mebane. So.
And I would like to say, as a friend, I've only been here for 2 years, and she has. So you have to be kind and be friendly to other people, and she does that just ordinarily. And so it didn't bother me at all to do this for my friend. And Mike, thank you for getting me on.
And before I sit down, Mr. Omega
I didn't see
and
him.
Miss Brenda, thank y'all for y'all support.
I didn't
I
see
didn't
you.
recognize them. Oh, and Donna, Tyrone, and Janice, Keisha, everybody, just thank everybody for helping me make this possible. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you, Brenda.
Appreciate you. It's awesome.
Congratulations, Montrina. That is very well deserved. Very, very nice award. I got the Naughty Pine Award one time, but that's not anything close to that.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Now we get to the thing of appointment of the Mayor Pro Tem. We need a motion for our Mayor Pro Tem.
I make a motion to appoint Tim Bradley as Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
Mayor.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you need to come down. We need to swear you in. State your name.
I, Tim Bradley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the United States
Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution,
not inconsistent therewith.
not inconsistent therewith,
I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Mayor Pro Tem.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as mayor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Oh, that was the fun part. Oh, going back down in a minute. Recognition of retiring Assistant Police Chief, Mr. Thomas A. Bird. Come down. By the way, he was quite reluctant, from what I understand, for showing up. It showed up. Or we have two resolutions. We deserve to. One having to serve with me. How long have you been on the force? 29 years. I've been on the 36, not force. So I remember when you were really young. All right, the first one is a resolution awarding the badge and service sidearm to retiring Assistant Police Chief Thomas A. Bird. This is really an honor for me. I've known him for years, and I told him when I got his retirement letter, I would not sign it. But then I found out I had nothing to do with it. So you were gonna go anyway. So, all right, resolution. Whereas Assistant Chief of Police Thomas A. Bird will retire from the City of Mebane Police Department as of January 1st, 2026. I was gonna say 9, but whereas in accordance with NCGS 17F-20, Assistant Chief Bird requested his badge and a service handgun, a Glock Bottle 19 9mm serial number, so and so. Whereas in recognition of his 28 years and 9 months of service in law enforcement to the Mebane Police Department, Chief McKinney requests that one police officer badge and one handgun described above be declared surplus, and that the badge and service handgun be awarded to retired Mebane Police Assistant Chief Thomas A. Bird. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Mebane that the service handgun is hereby declared surplus to the city, and the city manager or his designee is authorized to present said badge and service handgun to retired Mebane Assistant Police Chief Thomas A. Bird. Now therefore it be further resolved that the Mebane City Council extends best wishes for many years of good health and happiness to Thomas A. Bird during his retirement and his future endeavors. Adopted this 8th day of December 2025. Ed Hooks, Mayor.
Do you gentlemen want a picture?
Got another, I got another resolution.
For this.
Make a motion.
So, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations. I get through this like crying. Resolution honoring Assistant Police Chief Thomas A. Byrd on his decision of his retirement. Whereas Thomas A. Byrd began his distinguished career with the Mebane Police Department in 1997 as a patrol officer, demonstrating a steadfast commitment to public safety and service. And whereas in 2000, Officer Byrd was assigned to the Vice and Narcotics Division, which he played a critical role in combating crime and protecting the community. And whereas in 2003, he was promoted to lieutenant, overseeing the Criminal Investigations Division, including the Vice and Narcotics Unit, and providing exceptional leadership in solving complex cases. And whereas in 2005, Lieutenant Byrd was promoted to captain, where he led the Operations Patrol Division and the Special Response Team, ensuring the effective and efficient operation of the department. And whereas in September 19th, 2009, Captain Byrd was appointed Assistant Police Chief, a role in which he has provided exemplary leadership and unwavering dedication to the safety and well-being of the Mebane community. Whereas Assistant Chief Byrd is a graduate of North Carolina Justice Academy's Management Development Program and has earned the prestigious FBI LEEDA Leadership Triology Training Award, as well as the North Carolina Advanced Law Enforcement Certification. Whereas Assistant Chief Byrd has shared his expertise and passion for law enforcement as a general instructor, taser instructor, ASP baton instructor, specialized firearms instructor, and specialized physical fitness instructor, contributing to the professional development of countless officers. Whereas Assistant Chief Byrd's career has been marked by integrity, dedication, and a steadfast commitment to the highest standards of law enforcement, earning the respect and admiration of colleagues, the city of Mebane, the mayor, and the community he has served so faithfully. Now therefore be it resolved that the city of Mebane expresses its deepest gratitude and appreciation to Assistant Chief Thomas A. Byrd for his outstanding service, leadership, and contributions to the Mebane Police Department and the community. And be it resolved further that the city of Mebane extends its best wishes to Assistant Chief Byrd for a well-deserved and fulfilling retirement, with heartfelt thanks for his many years of dedicated service. Adopted this 8th day of December, 2025, Ed Hooks, Mayor. And if you need any lessons on retirement and being worthless, call me. And anybody, come on up.
There.
We got 2 sheets, come on. Oh, yeah. Last but not least, thank you, Tim. We're giving this insignia, they're gonna go ahead and play from the city of Mebane. Your name tag hasn't come in. Keep it and get it to you, okay? But that is absolutely gorgeous. Everybody come on up.
Mr. Mayor, if you do put his name on that, please put North Carolina State University somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna have you guys slide to the right.
You're going,
Can I have some both of you on this end come to this end for me, please. We're gonna have to do 2 rows, so can I have those of you shorter in stature come to the
Bird and the chief and the mayor need to step
Yeah,
forward.
y'all gotta smush 2 lines.
Snuggle up.
Don't put Bird on the second line. He needs to step forward.
All right, team, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Big smiles. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3. You're good. Did you want to meet family?
Gary, how you doing? Appreciate it. Got one more.
You know, it was really great to see our retired police chief, Gary Baumgardner. Glad to see him. He looks like retirement is really doing well. I think he moved in, got 5 years. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. Glad to have you tonight. This thing. Do you want to do anything this after tonight? It'd be a great time. Well, I tried. That would be really cool, Gary.
Do a wedding in the middle of the council meeting?
Well, last but not least,
Uh-oh.
we're going to recognize City Attorney Lawson Brown. Celebrating 50 years of excellence, E. Lawson Brown Jr. This year marks Mr. Brown's 50th year of distinguished legal practice, serving individuals, businesses, local governments, and nonprofits across Alamance County, North Carolina, and beyond. A graduate of East Carolina University and a BA in political science honors, and a football team member. And he was not a defensive lineman, he was a safety, correct?
Something like that.
Okay. He always skirted those big guys coming out of the running, okay? Mr. Brown has built a remarkable career in commercial real estate, business transactions, civil litigation, and municipal law. His expertise in zoning, utilities, transportation, and governmental permits has made him a trusty authority in this field. For the past 11 years, that's why we hired him, Mr. Brown has served as the city attorney for Mebane, making significant contributions to the city's economic growth and infrastructure development. His leadership extends to numerous legal and civic organizations, including the North Carolina Bar Association, the Alamance County Bar Association, and various community boards. Residing in Burlington with his wife, Lou Ann, Mr. Brown remains deeply committed to his community and to his profession. Congratulations to Lawson on 50 years of exceptional service and leadership in the legal field. Congratulations, Lawson.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. It's wonderful being able to serve this board and the mayor and the city for the 11 years I've been doing that. And prior to that, I did a lot of private development work for individuals and corporations. And it's been my honor to work with all of you. And I hope to continue another 50.
I think he was the youngest bar executive at the age of 12. Pretty good.
That was up right there. Cool. Oh, maybe 15. Okay, you're good.
I've got my exercise in today. Hey, all right. Now we're getting to public comments. Had a lot of great people before. All right, Mr. Carl Bradley. Thought he left.
No.
And his son, what's his name?
Her name is Stella.
Daughter, excuse me.
See, Stella is training to be my service dog. Takes a long time to do that, but she's getting much better at being in places. And so I'm here today to once again speak about the lights at the dog park. They fixed one of them. We really appreciate it because it lit up a whole lot of area we needed lit up properly. But there's still one over by the water fountain that still needs to be repaired. And then, of course, I'm putting in my request for mulch again. I do that every year. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, I'm known as, for those that don't know, I'm known as the mayor of the dog park. And I forgot to say when I started, my name's Carl Bradley. I live at 4610 Mebane Rogers Road. Yeah, anyway, I do stuff at the dog park, like look for stuff that was left that shouldn't have been. And fill in holes that the dogs dig. It's not that bad, but it gets Stella there 2 to 3 times a day. So we have a good time. We got a lot of good people that come to the dog park, and they just would like to be able to see. I appreciate your time. You all have a great day and great Christmas. We'll talk to you later. I'm going back to my chair.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Carl. Chip Thrasher.
I'm going to my regular chair. There you go. Sit down.
Evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. I can't play basketball right now because I'm a little injured, but.
Give me your name and address.
Oh, sure, yeah. My name is Chip Thrasher. I live at 400 Pickett Lane. Good to see you. I really liked the first time you put up a basketball court. That was a great use of however many thousands of dollars. And I'm excited to hear about it again. That's all.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on, the consent agenda. We have the 2026 council meeting calendar. We have a contract addendum for the 24-25 audit and a budget amendment and authorization to the police for asset forfeiture funding. Any comments?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, first public hearing, ordinance to extend the corporate limits, voluntary contiguous annexation, Dimitri and Olga Feldman, Saddle Club Road subdivision. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, members of the council, this is a voluntary contiguous annexation. You accepted the clerk's certificate of sufficiency on the application at your last meeting and set the night as the date for the public hearing on this 43.23 acres located at 1346 Saddle Club Road, which in July of 24 you approved for 110 single-family homes in a public park. This is a public hearing, and it is staff's recommendation that the annexation occur. The property will need to be annexed before they can access public water and sewer services from the city of Mebane.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any questions or comments from the council? If not, it is a public hearing. Anybody in the audience like to speak? If not, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
We have a motion.
Second.
A second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to close the public hearing.
I move to adopt an ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the city of Mebane, North Carolina to include plus or minus 43.23 acres.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Ordinance to extend the corporate limits, voluntary contiguous annexation, Nepalese Investment Group LLC and BLK and Rhonda Sharma, Buckhorn Road. Mr. Brown.
Thank you again, Mayor. Mayor and council, we will need a vote, if it is your wish, to combine the hearing on items B and C. This property is located in Orange County and is presently not in our City of Mebane ETJ. It's 10.875 acres located in Orange County on Buckhorn Road. As you will see in your next presentation, a convenience store with gas pumps is planned for this property. You did accept the petition and certificate of sufficiency and set a date of public hearing for tonight on the annexation. Again, we will need if it is your desire, we will need a motion to combine B and C.
Right.
And you can only consider item C if in fact you vote affirmatively on item B, which is the annexation.
Right. We need a motion to combine B and C.
I move that we move agenda item 11B and 11C.
We have a motion.
Second.
Got a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to combine. The conditional rezoning sheets, Buckhorn Road, Ms. Omby, Development Director.
Good evening. Before you is a request that is petitioned by the current property owners. So this evening you'll hear from the developer for 8 properties that total just over 10 acres. And as Mr. Brown mentioned, these are within Orange County's planning jurisdiction and are currently zoned by Orange County. They're primarily zoned rural residential, that R1 light green color you see on the screen. And then there is a few properties zoned office, research, and manufacturing, the O/RM. The request is to rezone the site to general business conditional district. And with conditional districts, there is a site-specific plan, which you'll see this evening and is included in your packet. And there can also be conditions requested as part of the request or as part of the rezoning request. The zoning map shows that this area has Mebane zoning and also Orange County zoning. We have light manufacturing and heavy manufacturing zoning districts by Mebane, adjacent to the site and across Buckhorn Road. And then the petrol station is zoned B2 General Business District. And then Orange County primarily has a residential zoning in the area. As mentioned, this is outside of our extraterritorial jurisdiction, and annexation is required before you take action on the zoning request. City utilities are available to serve the development. It is largely a vacant and historically single-family residential site. The surrounding uses include single-family residential to the south, and then truck stop to the north, and light industrial along the adjacent property line to the west, and then across Buckhorn Road is planned warehouses and also the planned freight terminal by R&L carriers. The site is located in the Buckhorn Economic Development District, which is an industrial growth area identified in the 2017 Comprehensive Land Development Plan, Mebane by Design. This is the site-specific plan included in your packet as the landscaping sheet. It shows on it the convenience store, which is similar in size, and you'll see in the applicant's presentation, similar in form to the one on Mebane Oaks Road. It's just over 6,800 square feet. There's your standard fuel canopy for motor vehicles and associated parking with that side of the development. And then there's also diesel dispensers, which is planned left, and associated parking for trucks in that area. Sidewalk is required along the property's frontages on Buckhorn Road, and then Buckhorn Industrial Parkway is the city street that was constructed with the Buckhorn Business Center development. There is a condition related to reducing the buffer width along the southern boundary, which is here. that condition is to reduce it to approximately 58 feet. In some areas, the requirement is 100 feet. And you'll hear more from the applicant about how they are planting more in that buffer than is standard required and are also providing an opaque fence. A traffic impact analysis was required of the development and completed and reviewed by the City of Mebane and the NCDOT. And various roadway improvements are required, including improving the eastbound and westbound interchange ramps, installing a traffic signal with right turn lane at the Buckhorn Road and Buckhorn Industrial Parkway intersection, and then constructing right and left turn lanes at the entrance on Buckhorn Road. The applicant's presentation has more details and better ways of imagining how that will look. Are there any questions for me? All right, I'll turn it over to the applicant.
Thank you, Ashley.
Good evening. My name is Paul Kuntz. I'm an attorney with Ortel Kuntz Nortel over in Burlington, and it's great to bring you a fantastic project on this festive evening. Great celebrations to start the night off. Sheets is the applicant on this, and it's both the annexation and the zoning. Of course, we believe this is in harmony with the surrounding area and meets or exceeds all the UDO expectations. Sheets has gone through an extensive TRC process, including a community meeting, which we held virtually. We had the neighbors to the south attend. I don't know if the Evans sisters made it out in the weather tonight, but they spoke at the planning board as well. Got a team here from Sheets, and we have, and Wes Hall is going to make the presentation, but we also have Sean Poole and Chris Bostic and Earl Llewellyn here to answer any questions that might come up. And I'm going to turn it over to Wes to take you through.
Oh, would you give us your address, your office?
Sure. 3493 Forestdale Drive, Suite 103, Burlington, North Carolina, 27215.
Sorry.
I got about 20 years to catch Lawson over there. So congratulations.
Hey, good evening, council members. Mr. Mayor, my name is Wes Hall, 119 Maltland Drive, Cary, North Carolina. Let me see here. As Paul mentioned, this is our team we have here with us, hopefully to answer any questions that you may have. Got a few things here showing the 8 parcels that were mentioned before, southwest corner of Buckhorn and Buckhorn Industrial. This is the zoning map showing the Mebane zoning to the west, north, and east of those properties. One thing we wanted to include is an overall map of how this would fit in with the surrounding industrial and light manufacturing that is proposed and there as well in the overall plan. A little bit more on the landscaping. I know the buffers were mentioned adjacent to the fire station parcel there at the top of the screen, as well as the buffer to the left of the screen towards the southern properties. Wanted to show some cross sections of what those would look like. The type B buffers that we're proposing there, the opaque fence, as well as some additional evergreen trees, some of which are above and beyond the code there to try to increase that density for the folks on either side. The southern buffer being the one that we're asking for the reduction in width, that is only for a portion of that property line, as you can see towards the back of the site. We will be providing the 100-foot as required by code, as well as some additioning. There's existing trees and forestation back there.
Just to be clear on some of your drawings, you've oriented south to the left. You've rotated this.
Rotated, yeah.
Want to be
just to
clear
fit
on
this
that. So
page.
Mebane Oaks is Buckhorn is running along the bottom of that drawing.
That's correct. Back going the other way here. Wanted to show a slide. The next 2 slides, they show our offsite improvements that would be part of this project that were mentioned previously by staff, required by NCDOT just to mitigate the traffic. As she mentioned, a TIA was performed. This shows the traffic signal, a right turn lane on Buckhorn. And the next slide Also shows some improvements to the off ramps from 40 there as well that would be part of this development.
Sorry, can you go back to that for a minute?
Absolutely.
Now you've got south to the right.
No, this is still south is would
South
be
is-
plan left here.
Okay, so where is the improvement to the off-ramp that you're showing?
So as you can see, the dark black lines here, it's an
Okay.
extension of some of these lanes there, as well as, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to use this.
Okay.
The extension here of some of the additional pavement and striping for creating those lanes. Also wanted to include some information that you can read here about the environmental technology that Sheets uses for all of our properties. There's many safety measures to prevent environmental impacts, many of which are above and beyond those required by the state permits that we are required to get for having a fueling station. I've also included our store elevations that we would be proposed to build here. Says a little over 6,800 square foot building. This is the front and the left elevation of that building, and then our rear and our right elevation. To give you an idea of what those look like, this is our standard canopy for the just regular passenger vehicles. I've also got an elevation of our canopy for our high flow diesel that will be in the back of this site. Just mentioning that as an ancillary use here. Towards the back of the site is a standard sheet store similar to the one on Mebane Oaks Road, but this one also has an offering for high flow diesel for commercial trucks.
Can you go back to one of the traffic flow drawings and show how the trucks would get to the diesel?
Sure. Let's see. This one might be the best one. So with the signal here, there's two ways of coming in. They can either take a right and come straight back this way. They would then circle around and come in that way, or go through the light, right turn lane, come in and make that turn around, fuel there, and then either turn, they would typically turn back this way, go out, get back to the light.
And both of those entrances are also for cars, so there's not a special entrance for the tractor trailers.
That's correct. It's not a separate entrance. That is correct. We do have an internal drive connection here, as well as two on this side that only the cars would be able to use. And the way that this has been designed, we have run auto truck turns to ensure that they can make those movements safely and keep circulation going throughout the site.
Do you have charging stations?
We do not plan to have charging stations at this time. We will, as we do with a lot of our stores, we will future-proof this one, meaning we'll run additional conduit to an area so that if one of our EV partners would like to add EV to this site, we have the capability to do that.
Where do you think you might put them if that was pursued?
Typically, those would be over here. As you can see, there's a drive-through stacking lane there. There's parking spots that are right here that we typically reserve for that.
I have I guess a little bit of a devil's advocate question here.
Mhm.
For exiting after fueling,
Mhm.
do you think it's likely that they're going to kind of do that C-shaped turn to go out to get out to the light? Or do you think they're going to kind of take that shorter distance and come out where there isn't a light?
I don't believe they'll be using this access here to exit. I spent a lot of times in a tractor trailer truck. My grandfather was a truck driver as well as my uncle. We're always going to the light. So majority of them, if not all of them, are going to make that movement to get back to this light, make things easier.
So I think it's on the next slide, or several slides, but before you get to the pictures, talk about your oil fuel runoff, parking lot runoff.
Sure. We have our standard underground storage tanks there. They are double walled. There's an impermeable liner that's put into the pit before they go in to prevent any spills. There's also, I believe, about 24 different sensors that are put in place for any leaks that may happen that are monitored 24/7. We have emergency shutoff switches on all the stores that we're able to get to. Spill response kits. We also have oil water separators around the fueling canopy so that if anybody does spill or one was to get out of the tank, that is captured before it would get into any on-site stormwater drainage system and captured there.
It was mentioned you guys are going over here.
Oh, sorry.
Down here. Above and beyond state regs, could you speak about that?
Yeah, there's a few that you can see here at the bottom, just things that we do that are unique to Sheets with the spill response kits, the oil water separators that we put in. We also have it's not on here, but there's a new device that is called a snout that goes inside of the stormwater catch basins that if it does get past the other measures that we put in place, that will capture it at that point and not allow it to keep going down.
And again, that's beyond state and federal regulations. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
it helps us operate a lot more efficiently. So.
You talked about providing protection, but in both it indicates the spill of someone filling the tank. Those are usually minor. What about something like a side saddle tank rupture on a commercial truck, tank rupture on a vehicle fire? How much can your French drains oil separators capture in an event like that?
They can take a lot of flow. I don't have the exact data on that, so I don't want to misquote anything to you. But I know that we've had some spills. That was one of the impetus of us using the snout device, just for the fact that some things may get outside of our planned items around the canopy. If something were to happen away from that, we do have a way to capture that.
I'm a little surprised that you're not putting any charging stations in. I mean, with the current environment. In fact, when we had a public hearing on another fuel station, that was a major concern with the speakers, charging stations. And I know you have them at the Sheets on Mebane Oaks Road, but you're not putting any in here.
We do, and we have several partners that we talk to. Tesla, there's several others. Iona is one where typically when we get into the construction drawing process, our internal team will reach out to them to see if they have any interest in putting chargers here. It's kind of more predicated on where that need is from their standpoint. But we'll certainly plan to have this site future-proof so that should that come along at a later time or, pretty soon, we'll be able to handle that.
The infrastructure will be able to handle it when you're ready to put in these 150 kilowatt plus units.
Yeah, our vendors typically will have their own transformer once they get their items permitted. We don't permit those items for them, but we make everything available so that they'll be able to essentially get their permits and come in and plug and play.
Are there any adjustments to the R&L carrier plan or ingress egress that you have to coordinate with them, or is that plan unchanged?
We are coordinating with them. I was going to try to get to that sheet. Might show it. You'll see here with that signal. We are coordinating with them just about the connection here on the other side. I don't know. We have our traffic engineer. If there's any particular questions we'd like to ask about that, but we are coordinating with them on what that will look like with that signal and the alignments there.
From a staff perspective, do we think that the changes to R&L is an improvement as a result of this, or what's the scope of change from what we approved on that project?
Probably the biggest change is it will be a signal light intersection. I don't think the R&L street or private street across from there is going to be changing, maybe minimal, but not changing in any major way. The biggest change is the signal light, which all on TRC, which includes NCDOT, felt like was an improvement. And obviously, this development and the traffic generation triggered the need for Sheets to install that at their expense.
All right. I did have a couple other slides. Once we got past our elevations, I did want to mention just a little bit, as you may know, about Sheets. We are family owned since 1952. Our third generation is in our C-suite with our company. Our president is Travis Sheets, who's third generation. This map just kind of gives you an idea of some of our locations across the state. We are operating over 120 stores in the state of North Carolina. We've been operating in North Carolina for over 20 years with over 800 locations across our entire footprint, which is the inset on the bottom left corner of your screen there. And another thing that you may know about us is just how active we are in the communities that we serve. This is just a few lists of a few items of accolades that we've gotten and some of the community partners that we like to partner with in all of our stores and all of our locations, wherever we are. So,
how many gas pumps are you going to have?
This will have 6 gas pumps, so that's 12 fueling positions.
I know it's not the scope of our discussion tonight, but the most common question I get is, do we really need another facility like this with what's next door and the Sheets down the road and the Buc-ee's coming and then more truck stops further down towards Haw River? So can you just comment from the business model and justification perspective for the public's
Absolutely.
knowledge?
I can say a little bit, and I can also bring up Sean Poole to touch on that as well. Buc-ee's is a big one. That's a big thing, but there are no commercial diesel or high-flow diesel at those sites. That's something that we've indicated or noticed that is a part of the market here that we don't have at Mebane Oaks Road. Along the industrial corridor here, we think it'll be a great fit.
Does the one next door have the high-flow diesel?
I believe so.
So you must have determined that it's not meeting the need, and you can.
Yeah, I'll introduce Sean Poole here. He is.
Yeah, Sean Poole, 4054 Lauder Lane, Burlington, North Carolina. So the answer to the question, like when we're looking, so I cover real estate, new stores for the Sheets family across North Carolina. So, and I've worked with them for 20 years. My previous life with Sheets, I ran all the stores here in Alamance County, part of Guilford County, and part of Durham. So know this from an operational perspective, and now helping the Sheets family grow stores here in North Carolina, and was born and raised in North Carolina. So look at it from a holistic perspective. But growing new stores, we look at opportunities just to serve the community in different ways, different. Yeah, you could say 40, anyone can get to you, right? But adding a location on the Buckhorn, it is with this high flow diesel, an attribute that's very new, really, to all of our stores. We don't have many of these in North Carolina. Our closest one is on 29 in Greensboro. So, we look at underserved markets where we think there's opportunities to serve new customers. They don't always have an opportunity to use us. And that's, when I'm looking at a site, I'm also pitching that to Travis. So Travis Sheets, he signs all of our agreements. We're telling the story of opportunity to serve people. They're very involved and engaged in the communities that we operate in. They will speak at grand openings about that. That's very important to them. And they want us to be stewards in every community when we're coming to talk to you about how we serve the local community. So, and I did have a note on the EV. I know those were good questions. So you may or may not remember the Sheets on Mebane Oaks Road. It did not have Tesla for a long time. So part of like growing infrastructure, there's a lot of funding out there for these groups. So we serve every site that has an opportunity that was existing to add EV, and all of our new locations, we're doing the same. All while we're trying to build our own technology. I mean, there's a lot of capital investment to do that, we're running that in the background. So part of future proofing is still serving up to these companies that do it very well, but also giving us the opportunity to implant our own infrastructure when that time is appropriate. So you're kind of running two paths, right? We serve and we try to be very good convenience store leaders in the industry, knowing that EV is very important for the future. Hopefully that bookends that for you.
Thanks, Sean. And yeah, I believe that's it for our presentation. So if there's any additional questions, we're happy to.
Any questions from the council?
I did want to ask, we've talked a lot about the setup for the high flow diesel. And I was reviewing some of the meeting minutes from the planning board too. Can you talk a little bit about like the amenities that the site is going to have? Is it still going to be, I guess, family friendly as well in the sense of offering, the food service and things like that you guys have been kind of known for? Is there anything else?
Absolutely. That's a great question. It will be a standard sheet store that you're used to going into. The high flow diesel is just kind of an ancillary use here for us. It is not a situation where we have any type of shower or overnight facilities or anything like that that would be different from what we already provide in our typical offering.
I did say you don't have a car wash.
We don't have a car wash at this.
You had it before and you got rid of it, so that was interesting. But, no car wash. Any other questions? All right, it is a public hearing. Anybody like to speak? Please come forward, state your name, your address. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Fiona Johan. I live at 5016 Johan Lane, which is right off of Buckhorn Road, about a mile south of the West 10 exit, which will be not West 10 exit, the West 10 Buckhorn crossing. So before I dive into this part I wrote, I just wanted to mention that I appreciate all the questions you guys asked. I also, my lean is always like, we could go environmental on gas stations, but you covered that. I know you know those pieces. This is the part that I'm worried about as far as people that are living in the area. So I just wanted to say, I sent you all a little video a few weeks ago, but for the people that didn't get a chance to look at it, or anyone here that's interested, I felt it was the clearest way to show what many of us are experiencing using a map. But tonight I just wanted to expand on that message and explain why I think some proactive planning might be needed here. I'm hoping that all the trucks could be encouraged to use the stoplight. As we kind of mentioned earlier, there's Wynn Lane, there's Mebane Industrial Park, and then we're adding the Sheets south of it, right? And my concern is that they're just going to use that southern entrance and exit. And right now we've got trucks coming in and out of Wynn Lane, which is the Petro there. When you come up Buckhorn or south, either way, those trucks are going to pull out in front of you. They do all the time. It keeps happening. My hope is that we could use this moment to say, okay, if we're putting a stoplight here, could Wynn Lane and Sheets all encourage, or could Wynn Lane be attached, or we can get creative, ask for some help from people, but attach Wynn Lane to the Mebane Industrial Parkway or Industrial Drive that leads to that stoplight so that all the trucks could funnel through that light instead of having 4 entrances in half a mile. Because right now that's our largest problem. So I hear that R&L is going to be at that light as well. That's great. So if we can adjust that Wynn Lane entrance, because otherwise you're doing stoplight and like 100 feet. I mean, I don't know the exact distance, but it's pretty close. You've got Wynn Lane, which is another entrance for trucks. So in that video, I kind of suggested that we be a little proactive here because we have a moment where we can seize it and be proactive. And so that's my biggest thing on the traffic. The other thing I'm gonna push back on, because I will forever do this in this area, is the 100-foot buffer. That was put in place. I mean, the idea to put it there was, kind of, I'm personally feel pretty strongly about it because of where it started, south of West 10. But I feel like the minute we start giving in on that, it's going to become more of a, like, other people are gonna be like, well, they didn't have to do it, so we're not gonna do it. And I will point out that the side that 100-foot buffer has been shrinked on is the residential side. I frankly couldn't care if you did it on the other industrial park sides, like, the neighbors there don't care, they're doing the same thing, but doing it on the resident side feels a little icky to me. Especially because it's not like 10 feet, and I know they're adding some vegetation, but I don't really think that makes up for it. Because I think we are still all trying to balance the need for, we have this economic development area, but it's also somewhat still in a rural area, and that 100-foot buffer kind of helps us hold that. So those are my comments. I think you guys did a great job asking all the other questions I would have come up here and asked. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. How hard would it be for the second, not the stoplight entrance, but the other entrance, to designate that just for cars? Would that put any kind of hindrance or, what am I trying to say?
It's a great question, a great point. One thing I didn't touch on was the fact that all of our commercial diesel sites, we do what we call wayfinding, which is just internal signage designating autos, trucks to certain areas. So while, like we mentioned earlier, that wouldn't be restricted, we would certainly direct them in the easiest path to egress the property.
Which is the stoplight.
That's correct.
How do you do that? So you do that with signage.
Yeah, we have directional signage.
Could you have a sign at the road that says on the second entrance, cars only? Would that put any kind of restriction on your business?
From the exit side of things, you're saying?
Yes. Well, entrance. Well, both. Yeah, entrance and
the entrance side. I don't know if we'd be able to do cars only there, just because the trucks would have come past the light, seeing that right turn, and then not being able to come in may create a problem. But from an exit standpoint, we could certainly direct the trucks on the route back to the light.
Good
idea. I think my bigger concern also would be the exit, right?
Okay.
Good.
I'd like the idea of, one second, sir. I know Wind Lane is not your property, and that's fine. Has there any exploration right there? That is a novel idea to actually help the safety of your egressing vehicles and heavy-duty vehicles.
It has not been a conversation that, to my knowledge, no, of incorporating into Wind Lane.
Okay.
I don't know if Sean's had any conversations.
We have not, but it is private property. So I think if we went to them and said, hey, do you want to access Buckhorn Industrial? They have that right to do so today. It probably is not a driver to them because the signal's not there, right? I mean, right now there's no signal. They're just coming out on the road. Once the signal's installed, I would assume that is a path we would want to do that. Get to the signal to allow a truck to make an easy left. As Wes talked earlier with trucks, getting to a signal to get a protected left is the route of least resistance, right?
Yeah.
But we definitely understand the concern. I think it exists today. You also don't have the road widening that comes with R&L and sheets, plus the new signal, which should help alleviate a lot of those, I think, existing concerns.
Well, you already addressed the trucks coming out on that second exit, not the light. If you could stop that and say exit for cars only or whatever, that would that helps some.
Yeah, and the wayfinding signs that are internal to the site, it does help because it does steer them. Like, right, I'm fueling. It's my first time here. How do I get back to the signal?
Right.
That internal signage is going to push them all that way anyway. But as Wes said, if they pass the signal and they're looking to get in, I think that would be a greater issue.
I guess my apologies. It sounds like we're talking egressing through Wind. That's not what I meant. If anything, maybe an opportunity for more people to stop by Sheets. If there was a little road between Wind and Buckhorn Industrial.
We'll certainly reach out to them.
Okay.
Most of the time, being a competitor, it's usually no response, but absolutely, we're happy to. And then the 100-foot buffer, just, the landowners to the rear, we did talk to them. I think as Paul had discussed, they came to our neighborhood meeting, thank you. And we did talk to them about that buffer and there was no concern, but we also understand that comment as well.
And why was that the one area? I'm guessing parking, I'm guessing the way you made certain things. What exactly drove that in regards to minimizing that buffer?
So by pulling, and Wes, correct me if I'm wrong here, but by pulling the parking south, you actually do not impact as much of the wetlands that are, or excuse me, not south, east. You don't impact the wetlands that are west. So west, where we go into the 100-foot buffer, you get into wetlands, and we were able to stay out of that.
All right.
So, and we did not reduce the landscape, we just created higher density and added the opaque fence along the property line.
Yeah, it was a combination of avoiding the wetlands as well as still providing safe circulation for customers.
All right. Next.
Public comment?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Bronson. I'm on 1221 Buckhorn Road. Appreciate the public hearing tonight. I, as my neighbor explained, experienced the trucks coming in and out of Wynn Road, Buckhorn Industrial, Medline, Steel, and all bypassing the way station. So become very familiar with all of the tractor trailers and all of the traffic peak and off hours. And so I did have a couple of requests to consider during this deliberation. Right now, as I'm hearing this conversation, it sounds like trucks will mostly enter on Buckhorn rather than turning right at the light and then left into the driveway of Sheets. So therefore, I would hope that they could maybe expand that 100-foot storage right turn lane to at least 150 feet. There seems to be plenty of room on the site plan. And if we have 120-foot or 100-foot tractor trailers coming in to turn right into the same place that cars are turning into, want to have a maximized storage area, I guess. And that is into the driveway. I can absolutely appreciate Sheets doing roadway improvements on the ingress and egress for the highway. But I would also second what my neighbor says in wanting to have one dedicated through lane for all tractor trailers in this intersection. Understandably, they are a competitor. Understandably, Sheets does not own an industrial parkway. And therefore, I think that that's something that maybe the county could have a hand, or the city could have a hand in discussing with the business owners existing, including R&L Carriers, who has a second parcel south of their driveway that will have an additional driveway. So there will already be between Thermo Fisher and the additional parcel, like that's north of West 10, but coming out onto Buckhorn, 2 tractor trailer entrances before you get to the R&L Carriers on the northbound side. And that's just, I think, something worth pointing out. If the additional parcel that is, my understanding, I can't remember from the meeting because there was a lot of other concerns, but if R&L Carrier is going to be responsible for both parcels, I think that their commitment to have one driveway there is important. But if they don't own that, then there should be some kind of conditional outreach or commitment to the owners of that corner parcel that also have a driveway on Buckhorn. I did want to clarify if they had truck overnight parking. I know that saw that there were a lot of parking spots, and obviously there are no electric charging stations. And so if that is going to be a thing for truck overnight parking, much like is in the adjacent parcel, why wouldn't there be any amenities? So I guess I was a little confused as to, you want to create a truck stop, but you don't want to have any amenities for truck drivers. And I mean, the Sheets itself, it being an amenity, but if this is just temporary parking to use the Sheets versus parking for gas refill and overstay, I know that we're already completely overfilled at the TNA. There's plenty of trucks that park on the on-ramps, and that is very dangerous. And on a state level, I think that that law should be changed. I do want to also, again, recommend that dedicated egress for trucks so that it is only on the Buckhorn Industrial, just because that would then be 3 areas I would also hope that you guys would put a condition on charging stations if it is available and if they can do it. I think that planning for the future, including diesel stations, you should also have a matching amount of electric charging stations.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
You guys confirmed that there was no overnight parking for trucks, correct?
We are open 24/7, and we don't provide overnight facilities internal to the store. Some trucks, I guess, could park overnight, but it's typically just parking for the facilities for them to come in and use the store, get some food, and get back on the road.
Mr. Tom.
Tom Boney with the Alamance News and Graham, 114 West Elm Street. Could you pull up the site plan just a minute, please? My question with respect to a lot of the discussion about concerns of the flow of the tractor trailer entering and exiting is that I'm not sure of the width of that back portion where you're showing the drive. It doesn't look to me, just, I haven't measured it and all, but it doesn't look to me like you hardly have room for 2 lanes of tractor trailers coming and going, much less any additional room for cars that might use that entrance. Now, if it's gonna be just trucks, again, I'm not sure how wide that is to know if you've got room there. But what appears to be the case is you've got a lot more room at the front, which to me is going to make people use make the trucks, it will encourage de facto the trucks to use the Buckhorn exit rather than off on the Parkway.
Good question.
And I just want to confirm, you were talking about this aisle here?
Correct.
Okay, so that internal drive aisle is 36 feet wide. So as you can see, at the exit here, there's a left and a right and the ingress. So 12-foot lanes there, essentially, but 36 foot wide coming through.
Actually, tractor trailers can go in and out without any, okay.
Correct.
Helps it.
Just a quick question. So, highlight the pumps for me real quick, the diesel pumps.
Here.
Yes. Going which direction? Ingress, egress, which way?
So coming into fuel this way.
Okay. Talk to me about that turn. So we're turning a hard left to exit on the industrial parkway.
Yes, so the trucks, after they're finished fueling, this line that you see here, we just call it our stop line. So it gives enough room for a truck to pull up and another truck to pull in to fuel while they're kind of getting ready to leave. They will make this turn back around, exit there.
So they're going to be directed to the right, not to the left.
Correct.
Signage?
You've done this before?
We have, yes. We've done this before, several other sites, one that I've done in Hendersonville, North Carolina, similarly to that, but the wayfinding signage we find really helps. We design that, we get buy-in on that from CLI, who is our internal fuel carrier. We get them to look at our plans and make sure that we're not doing something that they can't do in a truck.
Forgive my skepticism, still learning here. So again, they're going to be going down on this map. My apologies. Taking a right, taking another right, going through the ingress lane that other trucks might be using, and then egressing, hopefully, out Industrial Parkway.
Yeah, I mean, they could do.
I guess my preference is Industrial Parkway. I'm with y'all.
Sure.
Signage, Industrial Parkway. Let's let them go through this the light. That would be great. I also see figure 8 demolition derby kind of going on right here with the 18-wheelers. So I mean, just walk me through. Talk to me like that.
Yeah. So like we talked about, with all of these plans that we do, our civil engineers run what's called auto turn, but is a truck modeling software that ensures that we can make these turns safely. They're very conservative. and the estimates that they can make there, that this movement is certainly possible for them to make that movement. And like I said, with the signage and the signal, I would find it hard to believe any truck driver is going to want to sit down there and try to wait to make an unprotected left to get back to 40.
Yeah, if you've got signs at the bottom, no exit for trucks onto Buckhorn.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, Buckhorn. They've got to go that way. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody from the audience? All right, need a motion.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to close. Any other questions from the council to the developer or to the staff?
I have a question for staff, or I guess a comment for staff. Because this isn't going to be sheet specific, but the second speaker mentioned the way station on 4085. And I know that was kind of brought up during planning board as well, but it is competitive if you're trying to get on to the interstate from kind of that, if you're heading eastbound. Has there been any discussion with DOT on improving kind of that interchange, especially as we're going to be having more and more trucks coming through?
Are you referencing the interchange is right beside Petrol?
Yeah, like when you're coming on to 4085 heading east. As you're trying, if I'm driving to Raleigh, right, and I'm getting on the interstate, I'm fighting tractor trailers who have to get over for the way station. And I didn't know, as we're starting to see an increase of demand and use over there, of folks getting on the interstate right there, if DOT's factoring that in, are they looking at making improvements to the way station? I mean, obviously they've been a part of these conversations. Like, is there anything kind of going on with that?
I can't say NCDOT has looked at that specifically. I know, being it's an interstate, there are federal and both state safety regulations that apply. I know the interchange right before you get to it, as you're talking about, was studied as part of the transportation improvement, a TIA, analysis. So we can certainly mention that to them, but I would speculate they're aware of it and try to stay on top of those items as well. So
Yeah, if we could remind, I would appreciate it.
we remind NCDOT and a lot of state agencies of several things, but we will continue to do so.
Thank
We can bring it up when we meet with DOT in the near future.
Great.
Any other questions? What's the pleasure of the council?
We need to do the annexation first.
Yes, sir.
Annexation first.
I move to adopt an ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the city of Mebane, North Carolina to include these 10.8 acres plus or minus.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
At a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries to annex. Conditional rezoning. Do we have a motion?
I just want to clarify the offered condition of changing the signage for that ingress is included, right? With the no trucks exiting.
Yes, it's included on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you. All right. So I motion to approve. Let me make sure. The B2 zoning, CD rezoning as presented. Motion to find the applicant is consistent with the objectives and goals of the city's 2017 Comprehensive Land Development Plan, Mebane by Design. Specifically, the request is for the property within the G2 industrial growth area and part of the Buckhorn Economic Development District.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion?
There's aspects of this plan I don't love, but I'm trusting that through the TRC and the experts on this, this is going to work out okay. I hope this doesn't turn into a mini nightmare. But I think we've asked the right questions and y'all have in good faith tried to give the right answers.
Good point. All right, we have a motion and a second, correct? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. All right, let's take a 5-10 minute break, please. This is for y'all too, not just for me. Because I'm old.
Thanks for thinking of us, Mayor.
Look who's the first one to get leave.
Tim got one already.
I know. What's that?
Saying I'm in the elite club.
I was a little put out. They didn't ask me and Katie to come down.
What it is?
We were sitting up here.
Turn around to Jonathan.
Brothers in name. Yeah, I think we'll turn out a great product.
The revisions that I just did an overview for, whether you want to accept those as they've been presented to you and included in your packet, or if you have additional changes and you want to approve with conditions. I mentioned the planning board's unanimous recommendation for approval with revisions. Again, that is attachment 2 in your packet. And you might consider excluding those that are no longer applicable because of the changes to the implementation project language. At the October meeting, there was discussion of changing the future land use map for the property that was subject to a rezoning request. And then if you have any additional guidance for staff, you might consider that as well. So that is my brief review. If you need more details, we have some hidden slides, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Ben is also here to assist with any questions.
Well, I think you did. I think you have done a fantastic job at answering all the concerns that the council had that I understand, they understood, they voiced. And thank you for doing that. I think it was addressed very well.
One of the things, discussions you and I had, you indicated that, and the question was about what efforts did we make to contact people outside the city, other than, and you indicated other than social media, and signs that were put there under study. We also used the rec department's, software that they use to contact people outside the city for recreational activity, since we host outside residents. I wanted to compliment you on that because, you know, in previous discussions, the questions come up, well, how do we talk to these people that live outside the city? And I went back home and sort of couldn't find an answer in my head of how would we do that, unless we went to the tax map and got a list of every one of them and individually identified addresses. So I applaud you for using that particular piece of software.
I had, as you know, I had concerns about what is the comprehensive plan for, and is it going to be thrown in our face? And probably still will be thrown in our face, but I do think that the addition in the introduction was a necessary improvement. I probably would have worded it a little more strongly in places, but I'm going to accept what you all have done, and then maybe in the amendment process a few years from now, if I hear the same thing over and over again in this meeting, I might ask to strengthen the wording in there. But I appreciate you all adding that. That was very important to me.
Yeah, I want to echo Jonathan's thoughts there. I really appreciate getting ahead of everything that we've experienced in the past. And I'm sure we'll experience some new ones in the future. So no, just great job. And I actually really appreciate the session that we did with council, just to really fine tune and hone everything. So it means a lot.
Yeah, taking the extra time, I think, was time well spent.
Right. Any other questions from council, comments? If not, it is a public hearing. Anybody like to speak? Come on down. Please state your name and where you live.
Hello, my name is Beth. I still live on Buckhorn Road, and I was not prepared necessarily to provide public comment on the comprehensive plan, but as a planning board member for Orange County, I think it's kind of prudent that I come up here and provide my initial reaction to being glad that there's a comprehensive plan that is in place and being implemented for revisions. I have a little bit of concern about the mandatory updates, which is on the next agenda item, as a result of the comprehensive plan updates. No, I'm sorry, those are two separate things. I guess for the comprehensive plan, I just want to make sure that as you guys are discussing, talking with people who are outside of the corporate city limits, thinking about those that are on your non-contiguous city limits. There's been increased, police presence in the rural areas. There's been increased traffic in the rural areas that you guys consider to be part of Mebane city limits, but not necessarily part of Mebane itself. And although you guys do have a, development activity node or, DAC, I think, on Buckhorn and West 10, I don't think that there's a lot of thought that's been going into the industrial part of where Mebane wants to grow. If you look at your comprehensive plans in the past and where you're going in the future, I can say that you have a lot of empty warehouse space. And I say that as somebody who is a neighbor to now 5 empty warehouses, where there are 7. Only 2 of the 7 speculative development warehouses that have been approved in the past 5 years have business, and that is concerning. It's concerning as a resident who expected there to be a kind of like a tax burden offset, knowing that those companies also get crazy tax incentives to come in. There's not a lot of focus in the comprehensive plan on the mixed use. I do know that there are improvements, and I absolutely appreciate the planning department's energy and effort that does go into this. I know it's absolutely thoughtful. I hope that the council and the planning board will continue to provide thoughtful feedback from the public. There's just not a lot of, comprehensive planning for these areas that you guys want to grow into. And I think that there could be a lot more collaboration on the side of neighbors, local governments, county governments, or county departments, and a lot more kind of discussion as you guys move forward in these, the process of adopting a new comprehensive plan and/or amending the comprehensive plan. So, it's very hard to explain to the public what a comprehensive plan is and then what is actually written down as your directive. However, you'll find it's quite convenient to reference the comprehensive plan when you want to pass things that are not actually zoned for business. So zoning an R1 to a B2 is easy because it's in the comprehensive plan. But if you look at the UDO, it can't be there, and that's why it has to change. These are the things that I think in the comprehensive plan you can put a lot of use and thought into. Again, as I did not know that this was coming before for approval, I just think it's prudent that you guys understand the kind of the consequence of these long-term plans with a short-sighted initiative on just getting the businesses in. And I'll cite the loss of the Buckhorn Flea Market as an entire economy for the city of Mebane as an example, because that plot now sits empty for the last 18 months, and it has not been used, even though it is owned, obviously, by R&L carriers. There's a complete loss of economic viability, and I think that's something to consider as you guys move forward with your comprehensive plans. Thank you very much.
I would like to make a couple comments. You brought us some fantastic points. This all began from Orange County. Orange County was what created the industrial revolution on West 10. They passed the tax for, and they ran, $15-18 million worth of sewer and gave it to us because they didn't have anywhere to treat it. So they came to us. So that's their plan, that this is all an economic development area for industries. And they pushed it. Now, there were we might want to correct the incentive part. Preston, you might want to talk a little bit about the incentives. Naylor didn't get any incentives. Naylor didn't. Go ahead.
So Medline did get incentives. Thermo Fisher Scientific, Sarah, R&L Carrier Steel, they did not get any incentives. I believe if you're referencing Alnire, Maris, 5 industrial buildings, 3 of them have occupancy, 2 of them do not have occupancy.
In the industrial park?
Yeah.
Okay, they still own another parcel, south of West 10.
Yeah. So I'm not.
That is part of the 5.
No, for sure.
I'm just saying that we have been added to the Orange County economic development package that they have pushed back when Valerie Fouché was on the commission, and so it's been a concerted effort from both Orange County and from us. Now it's been handed to us. Here's the sewer. Here's the water. We want industry, and that came from Orange County. Now, I don't know what the planning part of Orange County thinks about it, but that's the way it was presented and brought to us as future. Because they had no industry. Orange County had absolutely nothing as industrial, 15, 20 years ago. And
they wouldn't have had sewer without the middle school that was put in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And again, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to represent.
No, I know. I
I'm
just
here to
thought I'd clear up a couple things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was thing. But thank you.
No,
Thank you.
as a citizen who is impacted by Mebane's comprehensive plan and their growth initiatives, right? I think that it's a little disingenuous to say that, it was forced upon you versus it is a mutually beneficial,
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed.
relationship
Yes.
to have
Yes.
non-contiguous, city limits, but then for all of the, neighbors around those, city industries to not have any kind of representation or any kind of necessarily even pull when we do come to the, public meetings and public hearings or
Correct.
the neighborhood information meetings of how it really could be kind of melded into industrial as well as agricultural residential. And I just hope that, guys, as you guys move forward with your comprehensive plan, you are putting kind of some foresight into if you are going to take on this industrial area, how are you going to do that so thoughtfully as you also are ramping up residential in the same area? Mhm.
You made a great point too, though, about being thrown in your face. But that's actually, in reverse. We don't throw it in people's face when rezoning requests come because the zoning requests come from the people. What, Councilman White mentioned a while ago is we have a piece of property that someone applies for rezoning and it's an excellent use, but it's not the same as the plan is indicated that was written, the one we have now, not the new one. And so you look back 15 years and you say, well, that was supposed to be so-and-so, and they throw it in our face.
It can always change.
We don't have many opportunities to throw it in somebody's face because they're asking for a reason.
You'd have to remind me what I said about throwing it in your face.
You said that like if we wanted to change residential to business, we would be able to throw that out and say, well, that's what our comprehensive plan says. But that actually doesn't occur. We get it thrown at us most of the time when there's a different zoning classification in the comprehensive plan is what's being
The
asked for.
actual development ordinance, yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Another thing you said too, we do allow, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, but we do allow extraterritorial and beyond extraterritorial people to participate in our programs like recreation. So they would have been, those individuals would have probably been contacted if they're in our system as well. We don't limit much to
To
extraterritorial. It's our
recreation.
authority. Yeah, that's the recreation system is what our zoning department used to try to reach more people outside the city to get to
Certainly.
participate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm, like I said, I'm a very proud resident of this area. If I'm not even in your extraterritorial jurisdiction, I feel that I'm a part of Mebane and I absolutely appreciate it. Really like where I am and I really love being from Orange County. I do, again, the only thing I can say as a lifelong resident is that I would like to see more cooperation for the western part of this county, much like you see in Alamance, with the city count, not city count, but with city corporate limits.
Right.
So that's just something, food for thought as a resident.
Well, occasionally we have meetings with Orange County commissioners. We got one
Thank you.
coming up.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. All right, anybody for public hearing? If not,
I move that we close public hearing.
I got a motion to close, got a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion to close the public hearing. Any questions or anything, or what's the pleasure of the council?
I move to recommend approval of the Mebane 2045 comprehensive plan as presented.
Second.
Just to be clear, when you say as presented, that's with the revisions that is that correct? Is that the way that motion goes?
Yes, and I would also like clarification on the revisions recommended by the planning board. Some of the revisions that they recommended were initiated by staff.
I was ready to approve what's been presented as changes. Those were included. I just want to make sure that when we say as presented, we're clearly stating that includes the revisions that have been recommended. Is that right, Sean?
I can work with that as presented in the packet.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not,
Thank everyone involved in getting us to this point. I know there's been a lot of hard work.
very well said. All right, if no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to adopt the Mebane Comprehensive Plan. Thank you. Ms. Umber, you're back up. Mandatory amendments to the UDO.
In October, the North Carolina General Assembly passed Session Law 2025-94, and it includes some items that require updates to our Unified Development Ordinance. The first of which is prohibiting waiting periods for refiling of development applications. I'm not going to read the exact section that's included there, but essentially the local government can no longer implement a waiting period for that prohibits a landowner, developer, and applicant to refile a denied or withdrawn application. And this does apply to rezonings. So we did have a denial in October, and that applicant can now come back without having to follow a waiting period.
What was our waiting period previously?
I'll get to it on the next slide, but essentially a year. There are some like specific conditions that make it a little more complex.
Okay.
And then there's also a modification to the Falls Reservoir Water Supply Nutrient Strategy rules. This applies to a portion of protected and critical watershed in the Orange County part of Mebane. And so the change is underlined there about the disturbance of less than 1 acre. It had been 1/2 acre. So with those new laws by the General Assembly, we are proposing to remove Section 2-24, which is reconsideration of action on special use permits. And so it is hard to read with the strike through, but it essentially says that, when the council or board of adjustment disapproves a special use permit application, that we cannot consider the same application as that was previously denied unless it has changed in some substantial way. And it gives some language there about a majority vote. And then we also, for Section 5-4, are removing that half from the exemption so that it is 1 acre. And then for the waiting period, again, Section 9-12, this petition resubmittal language applies to zoning amendments. So this is that 1-year rule. The only way that we currently can consider it by our ordinance language is that if they meet one of those 4 conditions, that there's been a significant change in an adjacent property, we have an updated comprehensive plan, change in infrastructure, or some other significant change. So we would be removing those sections for reconsideration of special use permits and zoning amendments and making the change to the exemption for Falls Lake.
So if they change a development, a request on development, and we turn it down for so-and-so reasons, they can bring it back the next month. Is that a new submittal? Is that a pay for, or they just can regurgitate it every month till they get it approved?
Yeah, I mean, they would have to repay the zoning fee because we have to re-advertise. It's more of an administrative fee to cover the cost to advertise in the newspaper, mail notice to adjacent property owners, etc. I think most applicants wouldn't, I would hope, not consistently bring back the same thing. They'd probably want to change something, which would require it to go back to technical review. So there would be some gap in between the initial denial and the reconsideration.
They would not have to go through planning.
Yeah, they'd have to go back to planning board.
And then
Mhm.
TRC and then to us. Developer, and they're all smart. If they get turned down, it'd obviously be wise to change, if they want the project in Mebane, change those things that were mentioned and come back. That's good.
But if it's the same, like Tim was saying, copy paste, they could go 1 month back to council, 1 month back, no substantive changes. They could come back to council every time.
Theory.
In theory, yeah, I would consult with Lawson, but we would probably make them go to planning board first and then council. So
Yeah, the legislature has tied your hands.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily,
wouldn't
necessarily go to planning board if it's for this, if it's the same thing.
I think it would be a new request. I think it would have to go back to
Okay, we don't,
P&Z.
like Tim said, we don't have a choice.
It's kind of an administrative issue. We don't have a choice anyway.
Sure. Sure.
It very well could be they could submit the same exact thing, but I think they'd have to, and the city attorney can speak on this, I think they'd have to go back through the process. So I think the chances of a March denial and a April submittal are little to none, but it could be a March and a June.
Really expedited, generally. Okay.
All right. Any other questions? It is a public hearing. Anybody like to speak? Okay, I need a motion.
Moving to close the public hearing.
We have a motion to close. Got a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to close the public hearing. It's a pleasure to council.
Move the city amend its UDO in accordance with the attached amendments as described this evening.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving to the quasi judicial board of adjustment variance for the outdoor basketball court at the MAC. Anybody speaking has to be sworn in.
Mayor, I want to make a statement to the council. The council will be serving in its capacity as the Board of Adjustment. I will be representing the council as the Board of Adjustment. Mr. Lee Farmer, who has represented the city on matters some years ago, will be representing the city on presenting this request for the city, but I will be advising the city council as the Board of Adjustment if you have any legal questions that may arise.
Do I get a chance to vote on this?
Yes, sir.
There you go, Sean. Hey, I'm finally a qualified voter.
Sir.
Mr. Mayor, question though, is there an additional member for the Board of Adjustment?
Not on a city matter, and this is a city matter.
Yes.
All right, Miss.
That was funny.
Ms. Omby is heading this up. And as one councilman said, to be sure, all these people are not going to speak. Anyway, go ahead. We'd love to hear it from you, but you know.
So this is a variance request. You are acting as the Board of Adjustment, and I'll just briefly review what a variance is as defined by general statute. So when unnecessary hardship results from carrying out the strict letter of a zoning regulation, you all should consider the following. That it would result from the strict application of the regulation. It's not necessary for the applicant to demonstrate that in absence of the variance, no reasonable use can be made of the property. The hardship should result from conditions that are peculiar to the property in question. That could include location, size, topography. They should not result from personal circumstances or things that may be common to the general area. And it won't apply here, but variances can also be approved related to the Federal Fair Housing Act. A variance or hardship should not result from actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. However, the purchase of property with knowledge of the circumstances does not justify that it's a self-created hardship. And then the requested variance should be consistent with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the regulation, such that public safety is secured and substantial justice is achieved. Before you is a request from the city of Mebane to construct a basketball court in the area that's highlighted on the screen. This is on the property where the Mebane Arts and Community Center sits. And you see many city facilities shown in this aerial imagery, including baseball fields, soccer fields, the wastewater plant, and public works. This is an aerial image of the area in question. It is part of a larger area that's used for public recreation. The site's zoned R20 residential district, and the city of Mebane owns the properties that are immediately adjacent to the site. Our Unified Development Ordinance defines a setback as the distance between a structure or an activity and the property line, street right-of-way line, or a street center line. A required side street setback for the R20 zoning district is 18 feet, and you can see here on the table, the front setback would be 30 feet. Additionally, we have outdoor lighting requirements that lighting fixtures should be located a minimum of 10 feet from a property or right-of-way line. This exhibit shows the proposed basketball court, and right here at the corner, you can see this line that I'll try to highlight a straight way is the right-of-way line. So the corner is very close to the right-of-way line. It is clearly not meeting the setback requirements that are listed on the previous slide. And the attorney representing the city will go over that more closely. You can also see through this aerial imagery the right-of-way of Corregidor Street. And then I'll point out this dashed line here is a sanitary sewer line, which will be described as part of the reason for the request for a variance. Here is that right-of-way line highlighted again. So the presence of the sanitary sewer force main and that 100-foot right-of-way that you see highlighted is the purpose or the cause of the variance request. And the exhibit shows the closest point to the curb, which is 35 feet, meeting that minimum front setback of 30 feet in the residential district. It's just not measured from the point that we would consider in our ordinance to be the correct point from which to measure. So I will turn it over to Lee Farmer unless there are questions for me at this time.
As Lawson mentioned, my name is Lee Farmer. I practice law in Castle County. Practiced 2 more years than Lawson has practiced. I've done local government work since 1973. The issue before council, the applicant, which is the city, and particularly the Parks and Recreations Division, concerns the location of this new basketball court project. My understanding from Mr. Davis, this would be the second basketball facility in the city. I'll try to keep this very concise. Ashley's done a wonderful job on her overview. I mean, she stated the standards correctly. She stated the law as it is. This site has 2 major hardships that required the city to seek a variance. And I'll ask the city engineer to verify that. First of all, the road there has an exceptionally wide right-of-way. It's 100 feet, which is rather not typical. Typically, a state-maintained road is 50 to 60 feet. So that was the first hardship. The second hardship, there is on this property a concrete vault for a sewer facility improvement. So because of that vault and because of the extreme right-of-way, the city would be requesting as an applicant a variance to have this facility go forth. I'd like to call Mr. Davis if he could come up just a moment and give you an overview of the project so you know a little history of it. Aaron, if you could explain the project to council, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Just a quick overview of the basketball court. We're essentially looking at a duplicate of the basketball court that we constructed about 4 years ago over near the old rec center. One major difference is that this court system will be lit. So we'll be able to have play a little bit longer. With it being already in a recreation facility park, if you will, that falls in line with the lights that may be on for baseball games and may be on for soccer games. One thing I really love about this location is that I believe the court will get a lot of use from just organic play from brothers, sisters, kids that are there to watch a soccer game and then there might be a practice. Well, I don't want to watch my brother or sister practice. I want to go play ball. So I think we'll see a lot of that, but just another opportunity for kids to play basketball in Mebane, and we're really excited about it.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis, have you had any comments or complaints about this proposed facility directed to your office?
No, not for this one.
And can you explain about the physical appearance of the concrete vault on the property?
Yeah, again, the vault kind of proposed a problem in terms of where the court may sit. So obviously the variance would be needed to get the court to the standards and to the size that we have the current current court. We wanted to try to duplicate that. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Have you had any comments from adjoining property owners?
Not to my office. There may have been from others, but I would not to our office.
And the existing facility is approximately 30 acres, is that correct? The whole site?
Yes,
And this takes up about a half an acre, I understand.
that is correct.
Anybody from council have any questions of Mr. Davis?
Where are the light posts in this drawing? Or are they not shown?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And so
only on the one side?
That's correct. And we wanted the light to not shine towards the road.
Right.
To
Where are the other two?
Oh, good. Those lights might affect my jump shot.
so they will be on both sides. We'll make sure that they have hoods on them and don't have light pollution into the street. We expect you to be there shooting hoops, Mayor Hooks.
Any other questions?
I appreciate the lighting. I've gotten a lot of community feedback on wanting a basketball court that has lighting.
Is this going to be similar with the chain link fence and everything else? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Holt, could you come forward, please? Could you address council concerning the engineering or handicaps on this property, the two issues we're confronted with?
Yes, as Mr. Farmer mentioned, the sewer that you see there, the sewer line, that is a siphon as it leaves that vault, concrete vault. What isn't shown is the 3rd Street pump station force main that enters that vault. The other force main that is shown is a smaller force main that is from the small pump station that serves the restrooms over at the soccer field. In terms of the right of way, yes, a 31-foot back-to-back is typically a 50-foot right of way. This is a 35-foot back-to-back road, which is typically a 60-foot right of way. And when you look at it, if it was a 60-foot right of way, I believe we would be meeting the setbacks that are there, 18 feet.
Would it be cost prohibitive to relocate the sewer facility there?
So I've talked with Kyle about that, and he and I both agree it would be about $50,000 to $100,000 to relocate the sewer, which would be an added cost back to the project budget.
Council have any questions of Mr. Holt?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Hooks, that would be our presentation on behalf of the applicant city. I'll be glad to address any questions.
I have one. Would you state your address?
21 Main Street West, Yanceyville.
I have another question. The city owns the property, correct? Or has owned it?
Yes, sir.
Then the city put the vault there. Well, number 3 in hardship on the variances that we have to be met is that the hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. Well, we put the vault there, so.
Yeah, even if you take that position, the right of way still would be a defect that we cannot overcome without a variance.
Well, that was my next question and it would be more directed to Lawson since he's our attorney. Would the single issue of the right of way be significant enough for us to grant a variance without the concerns for the vault, because the way I read number 3, the hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant. Well, it does result because we put the vault there.
But at that time, not to interrupt you, that would have been raw land that the city owned at that time, not anticipating this project, is the perspective I would take.
Well, I would read the next sentence that the act of purchasing the property with knowledge of those circumstances may justify the granting of a variance or not based on the self-created hardship. So I still think, I mean, we put a parking lot right beside there, and my guess is the reason that parking lot stopped is for a similar reason.
Yes,
If, I'm just sort of asking if you feel.
Yes, sir. I think you would be fine if that's the direction or decision you wanted to make. That would be a sufficient hardship based on the configuration, unique configuration.
Well, I just think this decision is not whether to build a basketball court or not. It's whether or not we to grant a variance. And I certainly wouldn't want us to be accused of not applying the same rules to ourselves, so to speak, as we do to the public. So you feel very strongly that the single variance request of the setback is significant for a variance without the.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll also add, Mr. Farmer, is okay, utilities are oftentimes dictated by topography. And the city did not create the topography. We have to go where the topography will allow gravity flow.
Well, that's true.
And one comment I was going to, I guess, add, my understanding is the reason that you have these right-of-way requirements is for public safety. And with this particular, I guess, plan, we're looking at a fenced-in basketball court that has an ingress and egress on the opposite side, far away from the road, right? So that we would not have children potentially running out very close to traffic.
Correct.
Just a quick question. I thought we were locating it further down or south corner. What happened to that?
The city engineer, recreation and parks director can speak on this if I'm wrong, but it would not be prudent or practical to build the court over top of the force main or siphon.
For future maintenance requirements.
Because then if there was an issue of maintenance, you'd have to dig up the court. Better to put it where that would not be underneath the court.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions? If not, it is a public hearing. Anybody in the public like to speak? Only if you're sworn in. And he was.
I swore.
Or sworn out, yeah, sworn in.
Carl Bradley, 4610 Marvin Rogers Road. I've just a curious question. Are there gonna be any seating as in like the metal bleachers or anything there?
Not at this time.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the public? If not, I need a motion.
I move public hearing.
We have a
Move to close.
motion. We have a second.
Second.
We got a second to close the public hearing. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move to approve the variance request as presented due to the hardship of the right-of-way on Corregidor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving out of public hearing now to contract award and public budget amendment. Mr. Franz Holt, city engineer. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Very dynamic job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we took bids on this project a couple of weeks ago and was very pleased with the number of bids that we received. We've received eight total bids. The low bid was $278,800. submitted by Stonewall Construction. Stonewall most recently completed the upgrades in the plumbing work here in the municipal building and the gym floor at the old rec. The base bid did consist of the basketball court, grading, fencing, the lighting, storm drainage improvements, and sidewalk improvements to the court. We had 3 alternates. The first alternate included adding 4 side goals, and the second alternate included acrylic surfacing of the basketball court in Mebane color blue. The third alternate was the City of Mebane logo at the center court. We decided that as the project exceeded the budget of $200,000, that it'd be more prudent just to potentially award the base bid with alternate number 1, which included the 4 additional goals, foregoing the other 2 alternates. As I mentioned, the current budget is $200,000. That included $40,000 from impact elements, which we were happy to have. When you look at the need for project budget, what we believe we need to add $116,300 to take care of other project items, which includes geotechnical testing, project contingency, construction stakeout, and not included in here is the handicap parking space, which is also needed.
To be clear, that would include the 4 side goals, so there'd be 6
Yes.
goals for this.
That's correct. So in looking where that additional funding could come from, it was discussed by staff that these developers have been paying payment in lieu fees for recreation, and which is a sizable amount of funds that are available. So we would be looking at, with council approval, of using $116,300 of those funds for this purpose. So with staff recommendations is that we move forward with a budget amendment increasing the current project budget to $316,300 and awarding the contract with bid alternate for the base bid and alternate number 1 to Stonewall Construction in the amount of $297,800. And with that, going to bring up the drawing again, and be happy to answer any questions.
I think the area where the court would go slopes a little bit. Would they be raising up one side, or they be
Yes,
taking
we're
one side
trying to stick on the right-hand side or the south side of the basketball court where the grade is now, because we're close to the vault and to the forest main and filling on the lower end. As you can see, DOT, when they made the roadway improvements to Corregidor Drive, they ended the storm drain pipe right there. So we're having to pick that drain pipe up and extend it down below the basketball court.
Is that the state doing that, or is it part of this project?
This is part of this project. And I will say DOT has been, this did go through technical review committee process. DOT is a part of that process, and they understand we'll be asking for an encroachment agreement on that installation.
Any other questions?
Geotechnical testing, is that to test the truck structure when you infill, or what?
Yes, we'll be testing the subgrade, we'll be testing the stone density, and testing the asphalt density.
Okay.
Make sure it meets our
Make sure it doesn't.
City of Mebane requirements.
Any other questions from the council?
Sorry.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
Do I understand that the 200,000 is in the budget currently, the original amount?
That's correct.
And does that include the 25 from impact allocation?
40. Yes, it does.
40?
Yes, sir.
But that's included in the 200?
That's included in
So
200.
the overage is the 116?
300. That's correct.
Okay.
And Daphne did provide she's not, obviously not here tonight, but she did provide a budget amendment as part of the package.
Can we do it as one motion or do we have to do separate?
Preferably two.
All right. Pleasure to council.
I move to approve a budget amendment to use recreation payments in lieu of $116,300 to bring the budgeted amount to the full project funding needs for $316,300.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion for the second one.
I move to award a contract to Stonewall Construction Services LLC for $297,800 for the MAC baseball court or basketball court, excuse me. And I just wanted to say thank you too. This has been a project that we've been kind of talking about behind the scenes, I feel like for a couple of years now. And thank you guys for making this happen.
All right, we have a motion.
I look forward to challenging you, Mayor, and I will second that.
I have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any disagreement? Say no. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and
Thank you,
Council.
Franz. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Very well done. All right, moving on, downtown exterior improvement grant. Ms. Omby.
Mayor, you skipped over the annexation agreement at 464.
What? That's not on my, yes, it is. I'm sorry. Sorry, annexation agreement, 464 West Lake Trail. Ms. Omby.
Mayor, this is a situation very similar to what we've considered before. Most of the considerations of this type arrangement have been related to the west end section of Mebane. This lot is for new construction on the west side of Westlake Drive, and there are no general services such as trash collection, et cetera, in that area. As you know, that area does have city water and sewer, and they would pay double rates if they are left outside the city. The process has been explained, and the applicant has signed the agreement by the terms of which, if the council approves it, they would have a recorded agreement that they would be annexed if the council so decided in the future. And that's very similar to what you've done in the past. And basically, the general services are not provided in that area. I'm happy to answer any questions, and if I can't, staff can also do that.
The one difference from the ones we've done recently is the presence of sewer. We would not have to run, if this was annexed into the city, that would not be an issue we would have to deal with, correct?
That's my understanding. Is that correct, Mr. Holt?
Several areas in this subdivision operate on a low-pressure sewer system. So unless something unusual happened, this one could at least operate on a low-pressure sewage system. So from the staff perspective, yes, you could say sewer is there.
Well, I guess my question would be, have we done an analysis between what the cost of double rates and the cost of city rates for water and sewer as opposed to taxes? Because the only real change is we cut their rates now. They still don't get trash collection. They don't get police. They already get fire because they're in the Eastern Fire District. But I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around who's advantaged on this annexation.
So we have not done an analysis of taxes versus out of town or out of city limits water and sewer rates. In our voluntary annexation policy, it says I believe it references a historic, which means an established subdivided subdivision. We would not annex that unless we had 51% of that, all of the lots in that subdivision, or council wanted to look at a smaller portion, maybe look at sections of that. In this case, if we annex this, this would be the only lot out of several numerous ones, even if we looked at it in a smaller area. So it's just not believed, providing general fund services, to one lot within a subdivision is a, rate of return that works out well for us.
So to rephrase that, we are not offering them services yet. It is, they would still be paying, they're not annexed in yet. This is just a deferred.
They are signing an annexation
Right.
agreement that they or future owners could be annexed at the time of the city council choosing, at which time they would get city services. But until then, they would not be entitled to city general fund services and would have to pay out of city limits utility rates.
So this property may never be annexed. I mean, that's a likely possibility.
Every annexation agreement has a possibility of never being annexed, but it does, the fact that an agreement is done makes it possible for it. Basically, it's a voluntary annexation agreement.
Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I'm either dense tonight or I guess I'm wondering why the request? They have water and sewer. They're not gonna get the services whether they stay outside or come in. The only difference for the person and the city is what is the difference in water and sewer cost. And we, probably one of the biggest administrative mistakes the city of Mebane has made is that development, because that development came to the city and for approval and agreed to annexation. The request was just never made, and the city didn't do the annexation. But I'm just trying to discern what's advantaged by the request, just the water and sewer rates.
So your institutional historical knowledge, I have to defer to you on that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. That's really not germane to the discussion, but
yeah.
I'm just kind of curious.
They want access to all water and sewer, so that's why they're, and by our voluntary annexation policy, they have to do a annexation agreement.
So it's a new construction.
Yeah, there is no home there.
Okay.
It's
No,
an
all
empty
right.
lot.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now.
Apologies if we
No,
were not clear to start with.
No, I missed that. Yeah. I thought it was like some of the others where they, just wanted to tie on the water, and I couldn't figure out why.
It's the first time this has happened since the annexation policy, right, in 2022, when it was adopted.
It's the first time in this subdivision.
In subdivision, right, yes.
All right, any other questions? All right, what's the pleasure of the council?
I move that the city accept the petition for annexation and the annexation agreement for the give or take 1.38 acre property at 464 Westlake Trail, but defer annexation until the future per the city's policy and upon recordation of the signed annexation agreement. I further move that the city allow access to the city utility services per the voluntary annexation policy.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
One more comment or question. So that means every undeveloped lot in that end of that subdivision is going to have to come with the same request.
Yes, sir. Any undeveloped lot.
Unless they just want to do wells or septic.
And I shouldn't even say undeveloped lot, even if somebody is out there presently in some location that wants to connect to our water or sewer, they would have to do per the voluntary annexation policy, they'd have to do an annexation agreement. So it's not just undeveloped lots. It'd be anybody who was not connected to our utilities by June 6, 2022.
Can anybody dig a well and septic tank within 100 feet of sewer?
That's a complex answer, but if you're in the city limits, it's no. But if you get into other areas, that could be more complex. So.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we've already voted, right?
I just was curious about
yeah, just come on. All right, now, Miss Holmby, I see the change on it was not on the thing, it was on this, and it's in red. Mr. Brown is not a state fan at all, so Downtown Extended Improvement Grant. Exterior, excuse me.
Yes, so you all allocated $50,000 in your budget. There was a grant awarded a few months back, and we are still accepting applications. You'll see two quotes in your packet for the request before you. This is the property owner making the request. And if they make any changes, they'll have to come to staff before they do any of the change in the work. The property is 115 West Clay Street, which is within the downtown vision plan. The grant is set up to be 50-50 match and is reimbursement based, so they'll have to incur the cost before they seek the reimbursement from the city. This is a first come, first served program. So if you know anyone downtown, please encourage them to apply. And this is a facade improvement that's before you. So the property owner, Bill Bamberger, is requesting to repoint brick on the side of the building here at 115 West Clay Street and is requesting a grant of $3,116.
All right, we have a motion.
I move to award $3,116 as downtown exterior improvement grant to the applicant to repoint a brick wall at 115 West Clay Street as described in the application.
We have a motion. Do we have a
Second.
second? Got a second? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion for closed session, legal claim pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A.
So move.
We have a motion. We have a second.
What is the subsection?
Subsection A?
But no, it's A is a list of 10 different purposes. And as I understand it, you need to specify which of the one or more purposes.
Three.
Thank you. And does it involve any existing lawsuit?
No, sir.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion carries to go into closed session. All right. Ladies, we need a motion to come out of our closed session.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to come out of closed session.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to put on the floor a motion to authorize staff to take appropriate action to resolve the ongoing disputes with the city of Graham, wastewater capacity and related requirements and agreements, including a civil action filing, including services of Vernon Law Firm.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I want to remind everybody that upcoming Mebane events, letters to Santa. Council needs to get their letters to Santa by the 11th. I think Sean's already done it.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes,
job.
sir. Yes, sir.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is. It is. Mebane Nutcracker Stroll. We had the Nutcracker Gala, which was unbelievable. This is the stroll. Snowing in Mebane. It did today. So we're going to do it again the 13th. Happening in Mebane. I don't know what that is. Reindeer Run, 5K. Tim and I have we entered yet? And then December 20th, it's snowing in Mebane again. And then obviously 2026 is coming in on January 1st. Anything else to come for the council? If not, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, guys.